This video restores all the details of the atomic bombing of Japan. After the battles of Iwo Jima and Okinawa in 1945, Japan was already at a military disadvantage. But he still refused to surrender to the United States and decided to start fighting against Japan. But after the deduction, it came to a very shocking result. If the landing operations against Japan, it is estimated that the number of coalition casualties may reach more than 1 million. A heavy price that Truman could not accept, so he began to look for whether there is no need to invade and can quickly hit Japan. Before that, in 1942, the United States had set up a special nuclear weapons research institute in Manhattan. More than 600,000 people are working on this project. 16th of July 1945, the first atomic bomb exploded in New Mexico. July 26, 1945, the United States once again demanded that Japan surrender unconditionally, otherwise it will be dealt a devastating blow. However, it was completely ignored by the Japanese government, so Truman approved the use of atomic bombs against Japan. On August 2nd, the atomic bomb, codenamed Little Boy, was assembled and waiting to be used. The day before, the United States had tentatively set the regional targets for dropping atomic bombs as Ogura, Nagasaki, and Niigata, and Hiroshima, one of the 4 places, because these 4 cities were more important in Japan's military industry at that time. After comparison, Hiroshima was finally selected because the city not only has a 300,000 population, it is also the headquarters of Japan's Second Army, with 43,000 Japanese soldiers stationed here, and even a large port. In addition, its terrain is relatively flat, which can make the Little Boy bloom very well. So August the 6th finally ushered in the formal implementation of the plan. An hour before takeoff, at 0:37, 3 weather planes took off first. Reconnaissance the weather conditions in the target area. At 1:45, 3 Bs were on the final bombing mission. The 29 Super Fortress bombers also assembled over at Iwo Jima. The Enola Gay, piloted by Tibbets, carried the young boy on a bombing mission. 2 other aircraft carried explosive, measuring instruments and recording instruments respectively. After the meeting, the 3 planes flew towards Japan, waiting for the weather report from the weather plane. 1 hour and 20 minutes later, I received the weather report from the weather plane, after OK. That is around 3 o'clock. The Little Boy's green safety plug was unplugged, ready to use. At 7 a.m., 3 reconnaissance planes arrived over the target first, and again reported on the specific situation in Hiroshima. The weather is very good, the view is 10 miles. At 15,000 feet above sea level, cloud cover 1 and 12. At this time, Japan also found the U.S. Air Force and issued an air raid alarm. But local residents are not worried at all, because American B-29 bombers often fly over Hiroshima. There was no attack and the alert was quickly lifted. Soon after, 3 aircraft that followed up on the actual mission appeared in Hiroshima's view. All the personnel on the plane have made final preparations. At this time, Hawaii Island radio station issued another airstrike warning, but it was only a warning. There is no other movement. At 8:14, the bomber had arrived over Hiroshima 58 seconds later. That is 8:15:17. The Enola Gay bomb hatch opened, and the Little Boy fell straight down from a height of 9,600 meters. And Tibbets immediately took a sharp turn at 155 degrees. Accelerate out of the blast area. At the moment, the streets of Hiroshima are in the morning rush hour, and everyone has no idea what will happen next. Before that, the United States actually dropped leaflets warning civilians to evacuate, but no one took him seriously. Ceremony in the 43rd second of the Little Boy's fall, the air pressure trigger activated the launch mechanism. A 25-kilogram bullet was fired into the oil drum, starting the nuclear chain reaction. The solid matter began to break down and release countless amounts of energy, a process that took less than 0.15 seconds. 2 seconds later, fireball with a diameter of nearly 300 meters and 277,000 degrees. It rose into the air, destroying everything in range, and the shockwave spread out at a speed of 1,600 kilometers. Swept across the city. According to latest statistics, the explosion was direct or indirect. It resulted in 200,000 deaths. The 3 planes that completed the mission turned a big corner. It also returned towards the Mariana Islands. Hours later, Truman issued a statement announcing the use of the atomic bomb. He asked Japan to surrender again, but Japan was still unwilling to surrender. Then immediately, the United States has prepared a second atomic bomb.